He finally spoke today. It wasn't a long sentence, just something simple. But it felt like something had quietly shifted inside me. There was no big moment around it. No tears, no dramatic pause. Still, it stayed with me longer than I expected. I didn't answer right away. I needed a moment to understand what I was feeling. I was afraid of responding too quickly and missing it. After so much silence, even a small sentence feels different. It doesn't need to be perfect to matter. Sometimes it just needs to exist. That's when I realized something quietly. It wasn't about the words themselves. It was about him choosing to speak at all. My name is Clara. I am a mother who is still learning to understand my child. Slowly, from one moment to the next. The past few days have felt different. I am no longer chasing conversations. I am simply trying to be present. That morning, I prepared breakfast like usual, but my mind felt quieter. It wasn't as crowded as before. He sat at the table, still not saying much, but I didn't feel restless anymore. I didn't ask much. Only light, simple things, without expecting anything more. As a mother, it feels unusual not to push. I used to want to make sure everything was okay. Now I am learning to hold back. I started to enjoy simple moments, sitting together without needing to talk, and somehow that felt enough. And then that small moment came, without me planning it. It simply arrived. The afternoon light felt softer than usual. I was folding clothes, one piece at a time, without rushing. It was a familiar task, yet something in me felt quieter. He sat a few steps away, absorbed in his own small world. His hands moved slowly, almost as if he didn't want to disturb the silence. The room held both of us in a quiet pause. I didn't interrupt him. I only looked up now and then, offering a small smile. It felt enough just to let him be. Minutes passed without anything unusual happening. The air stayed still, like it didn't expect anything either. Everything seemed exactly the same. My mind almost wandered to the list of things waiting for me. Small responsibilities began to call quietly. It was the usual pull I often followed. This time, I chose to stay where I was. I let the thoughts pass without following them. I remained in that quiet space with him. Maybe nothing on the outside had changed. The room still looked the same as before, but something inside me felt slightly different. And then, in that quiet moment, something small shifted. It wasn't loud, and it wasn't planned, but I felt it before I understood it. He takes a small step closer, almost unnoticeable at first. I feel the shift before I fully see it. Something in the room becomes slightly different. I notice the urge to respond right away. It rises quickly, almost automatic, but I let it pass without acting on it. He stands beside me without saying anything. His presence feels uncertain, like he is still deciding. I stay still and let the moment be. I can sense something forming in him. It feels fragile, not ready to be touched, so I give it space to grow on its own. The silence stretches longer than usual. It carries a quiet weight I choose not to interrupt. I let time move at his pace. Words almost leave my mouth without permission. I feel them forming, ready to fill the gap, but I hold them back gently. This time, I choose not to step in. I want him to have the space fully, even if it feels unfamiliar to me. Then, he finally opens his mouth. The moment feels small, yet deeply meaningful. I stay present without rushing it. His words were simple, nothing long or carefully arranged, but I could feel the weight behind them. The way he said it felt different. There was no hesitation hiding in his voice this time. It sounded more like him. I didn't rush to answer. I let the moment stay as it was. I just listened, without adding anything. That's when I realized something. It wasn't really about the sentence itself. It was about what it took for him to say it. It takes courage to try again, to open up, even just a little, especially after holding so much inside. I didn't want to interrupt that moment. Too many words might close it again. So I chose to stay gentle. I answered quietly, just enough for him to know I heard him, just enough to stay present. And somehow, that felt enough. There was no need to add more. For that moment, we were already there. I stayed right beside him, not moving, not adjusting anything around us. I just let the moment sit as it was. The conversation ended on its own. I didn't try to extend it or hold on to it. It felt complete in its own quiet way. He returned to his toys as usual. There was no announcement, no shift in tone, but something felt slightly different. He didn't move away this time. He stayed close, within reach. That small distance felt meaningful. I responded in the smallest way, a gentle smile, nothing more, just being there felt enough. I didn't try to recreate the moment. I didn't look for more words. I chose to leave it untouched. I began to understand something simple. Moments like this can't be pushed. They can only be held gently. And that was all I did that day. Nothing more, nothing extra, just choosing to stay aware of something small. I began to understand something I used to miss. Children don't open up all at once. They start in small, quiet ways. Sometimes it's just one sentence, a simple response that feels easy to miss, but it carries more than it seems. I start to see it differently. These small moments are signals, a quiet sign that safety is slowly returning. I used to wait for something big, something clear and undeniable. But that's not how it came. What came instead was subtle, small enough to overlook, yet it felt more honest than anything else. Trust didn't return loudly. It came quietly, almost blending into everyday life. I nearly didn't notice it at first. But when I truly stay present, I begin to notice. Even the smallest changes become visible. They feel meaningful. It changed the way I see everything now. I no longer chase outcomes. I've learned to value the process instead. I used to think progress had to be obvious, something I could clearly point to and measure. But now I see how quiet it can be. Sometimes it is only one sentence, said without eye contact, almost like it might disappear. Still, it stays with me longer than anything else. I often missed moments like this before. I was waiting for something clearer, something bigger. Without realizing, I almost overlooked what was already there. Children move in their own rhythm. Not faster when I push, not clearer when I expect. Just steady, in ways I am still learning to notice. I am no longer trying to move things along. I am learning to stay where I am, to let the moment breathe without rushing it forward. What matters to me now feels simpler. I just want him to feel he can return anytime, no matter how long the silence lasts. If today is only one sentence, I accept it fully. It carries more meaning than I used to understand. And that feels enough for now. Tomorrow might be different, or it might be the same. I am no longer measuring it that way. I'm just here, noticing what comes. That night, I found myself thinking about that small sentence again. It stayed quietly in my mind while the house slowed down. Somehow, it left a gentle warmth I didn't expect. It wasn't about what he said. It was the fact that he chose to say it at all. In that small moment, I felt a little more trust growing. I don't know what tomorrow will look like yet. There are still many quiet spaces between us. But today, I feel like this is enough. If you're waiting for something to change, maybe it already has. It just doesn't always come in ways we notice right away. Sometimes, it's this quiet. I'm Clara, and this is my quiet journey of learning to notice small progress. If you've been feeling this too, you're not alone in it.